Start to Khul Ke Bolo with Naam, and today with us we have Rushina, who is the corporate food consultant and a curator of food experiences with over 15 years of work experience. She's one of our leading food pioneer bloggers and also the head of A Perfect Bite Consulting and APB Cook Studios. She drives initiatives like Go Dish Food Trends and also something like Glenmark Paustik Research. So welcome Rushina.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Rushina, you were one of those pioneer people who took it up to create awareness around Indian food and Indian recipes. I remember 2 years back, while the trend of being back to the root has only recently come up. So how did it come to you, and what is the kind of impact it has created?
So Indian Food Observance Days is one aspect of it. They came into my thought processes because I saw people celebrating things like Macaroon Day and Cupcake Day and French Food Day, and I realized we have such a huge food culture and heritage in India that we're not celebrating. So I started off this Indian Food Observance Days movement where we picked up on concepts in Indian food like achar. So we started Achar Day. We have Dal Divas, we have Pulao Biryani Day, we have Chai Pakoda Day. All very intrinsic concepts, but when you take each concept as you travel from north to south and west to east, it's like every 100 meters you'll find something new. It's like.
And is it consolidated with some book or something?
Not yet, but you never know.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
And why do you think the back to the root trend has come in?
I think we are now looking inwards, where we've always taken cues from outside. Before, we are now realizing we don't need the Western world to tell us that turmeric is great or moringa is a superfood. We know there's so much of all of this inherent knowledge that is in our own kitchens. So I think it's being driven on one level from the perspective of us wanting to discover our own food. Secondly, we are looking towards our own health a lot more, and there's nothing healthier when you do all the math and all the slicing and dicing. There's nothing more healthy than your Indian thali. It's got all the nutrients and the food groups and everything if you break it down.
We thought of doing something different. We have a small rapid fire round for Rushina, and let's get to know what her answers are for this, because this is specially curated for her. So Rushina, what is it one trendy food that you don't think is worth trying?
Activated charcoal.
That's, you can eat it.
There's a science behind it, but at the end of the day, I just find it a very, very weird trend.
What is one secret Indian food recommendation? Okay, you can give me 2 or 3.
Okay. In terms of restaurants?
Yes.
I would say the 2 places that I've eaten at most in the last year are Som and Mustard, because both give me really nice Indian home cooking. Another one that I really personally like is a website called Authentico, where they curate food experiences in people's homes. So again, as a part of eating healthy, I was eating out a lot of Indian regional food because I get my taste palate satiation and I can control the carbs. So
the next question, what dish are you bored of cooking and seeing on menus?
Red velvet, whatever. Like, please, can we stop eating so much color in our food?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay. Easiest meal to impress anyone?
Dal rice. With a nice desi ghee ka tadka.
Yeah, good dal is really good.
And I make really good dals.
Wow. And what is your favorite dish?
That's just not fair. I can't really answer that question. I like spicy Indian flavors. I would say maybe a curry. If I had to pick a curry of any sort and rice, or dal and rice.
And Rushina, one last question. What is your favorite cheat meal?
So one of the things that we didn't mention was that I was also off sugar for a year and a half. And so my system cannot handle white sugar anymore, but I can eat jaggery and honey and the natural sweeteners. So it's not a cheat meal per se, but once in a week I allow myself to eat a little bit of dessert sometimes.
Since everyone is into health now, could you suggest some super Indian foods that we could consume and stay healthy?
So, this whole concept of the superfoods and all of that is a Western concept that we've got, and while I credit it for giving us an awareness, as far as eating well, I think if you are eating food that comes locally, and when I say locally, I mean within your 100-mile radius, as much as possible. I mean, let's be practical. As much as possible, if you can eat from local markets, local farmers, if you can cook traditional food, you are eating healthy. Like I said, do all the math, you'll come to the conclusion that Indian food, your ghar ka khana, is the healthiest you can get. This was a personal learning for me because 2 years ago I was asked to go on a diet and cut down on my carbs, and they told me to eat quinoa, and I was initially pretty excited because I said I'll get to experiment with quinoa. 10 days later, I was like, oh God, I can't handle quinoa. I mean, I have nothing against it, but you can eat that much of it, you can't eat that much of it. And then I went to my mom's house, and she did a meal for me of all the typical Gujarati high protein snacks, your dhokla, your khandvi, thepla. She got moong dal chilas made, and then she did a very nice Indian style curry. I swear I have not felt so satisfied. I hadn't felt so satisfied in that fortnight before that. And so what I did after that, for the last 2 years at dinner time, I ate chilas with dal, bhat, roti. I mean, I cut out the bhat and the roti. I ate dal, sabzi, chilas, lots of salads, all very, very Indian flavors. I've got my high protein, low carb diet. I've got my fiber. I mean, if I had to put it into food groups, I'm meeting all the requirements of the modern diet.
And you lost so much weight. I mean, congratulations. I mean, how much did you lose finally?
I've lost 15 kgs over the last 2 years. I've also brought my sugar levels down from 10.4 to 5.9 at last count.
And this is all by eating Indian food, local food.
And exercise. So the other thing that I have been saying and at every point, at every platform, until 2 years ago, I was the laziest person on earth. I would not get out and get my exercise. The turning point for me was getting exercise. So I now walk at least 10,000 steps a day, 1.5 to 2 hours. I try and run a little bit purely because I love the feeling of running, and I control my diet.
So basically what I feel is, Rushina, that like if we eat the right thing, and it is all in our meals which we are used to eating the Indian food, and we do a little bit of exercise. It's usually the 70-30 or an 80-20 ratio of food is to exercise, and you manage to lose so much weight. So that's a great tip, guys. I think we should adapt what Rushina has just suggested, because why are we depriving ourselves from the food that we love? Rather eat the food that we love and exercise. So thank you, Rushina, so much for giving us your time. I hope, guys, you enjoyed this session, and if you have any more questions to ask Rushina, you can give us in our comments below. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and see you by next time.